Hi kids, it's me again, Mr. Tony, and it's time for another video art lesson, or rather, Lezione d'arte. Okay, and there's the introduction. Look what I've done with it. I've taken the letters arte and the little palm fronds, the colorful palm fronds that I did last time, and I put it on a building. Okay, it's a little beach shed, I believe, because I've added a beach umbrella and a beach chair, and I have a gutter over here and then a door right in the middle, so you know it's a building. It's got a little doorknob and a little sand down here. Okay, and that's a certain kind of art that's done on the sides of buildings or on big walls. Okay, it's called a mural. Okay, and it's a very popular type of art that's done in the Dominican Republic, as I found out as I've been looking up the art of the Dominican Republic. I noticed that there are a lot of murals that are done down there. And I've got a couple samples here. And you'll notice it's very colorful. It's got those nice tropical colors. It's got reds and orange and yellow in the sky, and it's got this ocean with all these things going on in it. And then it's got this boat, and it's actually a bit of a sculpture too. If you look close, you'll see there's all this stuff that they put on there and then colored it in. They made people out of stuff, I don't know, boxes and things like that. Maybe not boxes, because it's got to hold up in the weather. I don't know what they made it out of, but it's a big mural, okay? It's a big piece of art. It's the biggest kind of art you can make, a mural. And it's very popular down there in the Caribbean and in the Dominican Republic specifically. Okay, here's another mural, and this is just done on a big wall. And again, it's very colorful. It's got orange, blue, green, purple, and it's got a bunch of interesting stuff going on too. There's a lady over here, and she's got some kind of designs on her. And then there's something else going on over here, which I can't figure out. But there are two hands holding each other or joining together there in the middle. Okay, and that's just done on a mural in public space. Okay, and that's something they do down there in the Dominican Republic. It's a tropical area, and I think that sunny tropical places are a good place for murals. I've noticed a couple of murals down by the Jersey Shore even, and for some reason, you know, sunny, bright, open, airy places just seem like a good place to do murals. Okay, and here's another sample. And this actually shows someone painting a mural. You see this guy, he's painting right there in the middle. And it's another big wall. Okay, and right here you'll notice there is a flag of the Dominican Republic. So that is a piece of art that's done down in the Dominican Republic, a mural. Okay, and that's what we're going to be thinking about and doing today. But before we do, I think I mentioned last time I had something special, kind of neat I wanted to show you. And this is from years ago when I used to paint in people's houses. I did something that's called decorative art, and I do little paintings of ivy in the kitchen, or fruits in the kitchen, or maybe flowers on the living room ceiling. And a couple of times I did murals. And one time I was planning a mural for a restaurant. I believe it was a Caribbean themed restaurant. So I typically would show the customer, in this case it was a restaurant, what I had in mind first, because you couldn't just go up and start painting, and at the end of it they'll say, "What is that? That's not what we wanted. We didn't want a bunch of cows running around in the field." No, they got to know what they're going to get first. So I would do a study, a little sketch. This is a little paint sketch. Okay, and this was going to go up on a wall that kind of wrapped around a center part of the restaurant, this Caribbean themed restaurant. So I tried to do a Caribbean setting. There's a guy with a straw hat. He's got nice light clothing. He's got a couple of barrels here. I must have looked up something, you know, pictures of the Caribbean, and I saw, you know, that they would transport beverages or maybe rum, since it's Jamaica. That's a popular drink in Jamaica, and so that might be barrels of rum. And then over here I've got a beach. I got another guy carrying some rum. And then over here I have a couple of school girls wearing uniforms. I must have seen that in the picture too. And I have a couple of bungalows back there, a fence. And then I made some designs down here. But this is just a rough sketch, an idea for a big mural. And I did a second one too. This one was kind of serious, I guess. And I decided to do one that was a little more playful. And here we go. It's a long piece. And again, it's got a little bungalow. And it's got this sky with all these nice tropical colors. There's a little bit of ocean over there. A couple of monkeys, palm trees, leaves. It's got a tiger in it. I don't know if that's appropriate for the Caribbean, but I was trying to make it kind of whimsical and magical. Okay, the dog is barking. I don't know what he's barking at. It's going to distract me. I hope it doesn't distract you. Okay, and over here I got a little city. Okay, and that was a plan for a mural. And I actually never did the job. Would have been a lot of work. I think it would have looked nice, but it was never done. But I have those little studies I did, which are kind of neat, and I thought you might be interested to see that. Okay, so what are we going to do today? Well, all you're going to need is paper and some crayons and maybe a pencil too, because I'm going to start with the pencil in case I need to erase. Okay, now, of course, we can't do a mural. We don't have a big wall to work on. Actually, in summer school, a couple of times I've done, not murals on the wall, but I've done big pieces of art that are like murals on big pieces of paper, but we can't do that. So what we're going to do is a drawing of a building like I did in the introduction, and then we're going to add a mural to it. Okay? So, first step, we're going to make a building. And we'll start with a rectangle. Okay, line across the bottom, 2 lines up for the side. That one's tipping in a little bit, and that's okay. This is kind of a fun drawing anyway. I don't want to be too fussy with it. And it's got a flat roof. A little gutter or a little eave on the roof. Now, this is just one side of the building. And let's say this side of the building has nothing on it. There's no door, there's no window, no windows, nothing but wall. And that's good for the mural. But right now it's just a rectangle. So what I want to do is show a little bit of the front of the building over here. And that means you have to do a little bit of drawing in perspective. Okay, so this part is a little tricky. You have to imagine you're looking at that side of the building, and what will happen is it kind of pinches in. Like that. Okay, and that's the side of the building. That shows a little perspective, and perspective means the side of the wall there is going back into space, and as it does, it gets smaller. Things always get smaller the farther away they are. So that's what's happening with the wall. It's just pinching down a little bit because it's going into the distance there a little bit. And I'm going to add a door, a skinny looking door. It's actually not a skinny door. It just looks skinny because you're looking at it sideways. So it's kind of shrunk up. It's actually foreshortened. Okay, that's another fancy art term. When you're looking at something from the side, it kind of squeezes it in. It squeezes in like the pencil here. If I point the pencil right at the camera, okay, it gets shorter. Like that, you see the full length, but as you point it, it gets foreshortened. Okay, because you're seeing the front and then it's going off into the distance, so to speak. And it's getting smaller and shorter. So that's what's happening with the door there. And that gives the building a little more mass, a little more shape. It gives it 3-dimensionality. Okay, so that's the basic building. I'm going to put a little sign on here. I'm not going to write anything on it because it's so small you wouldn't be able to see it. But let's imagine it's a cafeteria. That's a cafe in Espanol, I believe. I'm not sure. I looked it up. So I think cafe is called cafeteria with the accent on the I. Okay, so there's the building. Let's set it up a little more. I'm going to make the ground line. And there it is. Okay, now for the mural. You can do whatever you want. You can do a bunch of cows walking around if you want, because you're making it up. You're not doing it for any business. But let's say I had a job and I was working down in the Dominican Republic and they wanted something very tropical looking, something that goes well with the beach. Let's say this is near the beach somewhere. Well, I would just do palm trees, kind of like what we did yesterday, but I'm going to do the whole tree. Okay, I think last time I just did the palm fronds in different tropical colors. This time I'm going to do palm trees. I'm going to start with the trunk. Curved lines. Okay, that's a good start. And now for the fronds. And if you recall, the fronds are kind of like feathers. They have a stem and then a bunch of leaves pointing toward the tip of the stem, like that. Okay. Another, same thing. Give it a little curve because it's bending down. Gravity is making it bend down. Another one like that. And another one there. And that's good. Four are good. 4 or 5. You don't want to do too many. Excuse me, I have a little itch on my eye. Okay, next color. Maybe a very different color. A yellow-green. Okay, I'm going to do all the stems first. This one I'll do 5, like that. And then I'll add the leaves, like so. I actually did do a couple of murals back when I was doing the decorative art. One was a mural of a big wave and a surfer on the wave with sky behind him. Excuse me, my eyes still itches. You had the sky behind him and a bunch of clouds. It was in a stairwell and it was really big. It was so big that I had to use 2 hands up on a ladder to get it done quicker. That I did that with the sky, and the sky is just blue, so to go quickly and cover a lot of ground I used 2 hands. Murals, generally speaking, are figured out beforehand and they're kind of simple, otherwise it would take you forever to paint. You got to keep it sort of simple. I also did a very long mural for a delicatessen called the Italian Alps. And the Alps are mountains out in Europe with snow and snow peaks. And it was very long. It was 36 feet long, 6 feet high. And that I did on canvas and we put it on the wall. That was a lot of work too. But it was kind of simple because it was just mountain peaks and then sky. Okay, what's next? This tree over here, let's see what color. How about red violet? That's good. Another frond over there. It's getting a little rough. That's okay, as long as it looks like a palm tree, which it does. And how about blue-green, or green-blue? That's a nice tropical color. Okay, a couple more. Let's see, how about orange over here? Now, as I was saying, if you drew out this building, you could do whatever kind of mural you want on it. Or you could do this, just do what I'm doing here, make a few trunks, and make the palm fronds in nice tropical colors. That makes it more interesting, right? It could be like regular palm trees, but I think, making them colorful makes it a little more interesting. One more. Let's see, what else? What would be a good bright color? How about red? Good old red. It's a primary color. Red is a very strong color. I think it's a little less tropical than these other colors. This is very tropical looking, so is this. Red is a little bit on the strong side, but that's okay. I think it works with all these other colors. It still has a nice tropical feel. Okay, so that's it. I think that would be nice. Let's say the building's white and you have just a bunch of these on there. That would look quite nice. But let me go back with a black crayon. Okay, over my pencil lines. I did the building first in pencil in case I made a mistake. I could fix it. But I actually didn't make a mistake this time, so I could have done it in crayon. But I think it's a good idea to start things in pencil in case you need to change it and fix it or adjust it to the way you like it. Okay. Go right over my lines. Certainly, whenever I did a big mural, I sketched it out or outlined it a little bit at first. Okay, and then I'd step back and make sure it's all in order, and then I'd go and paint it and fill it in with the colors. There's the little sign, the door there, that's kind of narrowed and foreshortened, as I was saying. There's the little gutter or the eave that's on the roof. The eave is the part of the roof that hangs just over the top or along the edge of the roof. Okay, and that's it. Now, I think it's a little plain looking. We need to add something else to this picture to give it a setting so it looks like a building that's down there somewhere in the Dominican Republic. So what I want to do is make some actual palm trees growing back here. Right, like that. They're kind of crisscrossing. And since they're actual palm trees, they will have green palm fronds. Like that. And another one over there. Maybe another one there. I'm going to fill it in. And over here. Let's see, let me make sure that I've got this in the camera frame. You know, I'm producing these videos by myself. If I was actually doing a show on how to make a mural, I might have a crew, a camera crew that would, you know, cue me to get into the right position. But I'm doing this on my own, so I might lose track of what I'm doing there, what you're seeing. Oh, I have to hold this back this way because I can't see it. Okay, something like that. And I could add a bunch more. You know, if it was really filled in, you'd have all sorts of trees back there, maybe going off into the distance, and all sorts of foliage. Okay, foliage is plant growth. Maybe there'd be bushes and different kinds of palms. Right? Like that. Let's see, what else? Maybe some sand here. Maybe this is a little cafeteria out by the beach. So I'll do some sand. I have to do it lightly because all I have is brown. I don't have a sand color. So if I go lightly with the brown, that will kind of look like sand. Now I can take my white and sort of blend it together. Like that. There, that's not too bad. That looks kind of like sand. What else? What else could I add to it? I could add a little, let's add a little blue sky up there. I'm going to use regular blue, not the blue-green. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it easy on myself. I'm going to make a bunch of clouds here. And that's actually what I did with the surfer mural, not mule, surfer mural. I made a bunch of clouds, then a big wave down below the clouds, and then up above it I made sky. Okay, so this is all going to be clouds down here. And clouds are pretty easy to paint. They're just fluffy, white, cottony things with a little bit of shadow here and there. Now I'm doing this kind of quick because I don't want you to get bored just watching me color. But if I were doing this as a job and there was a little cafeteria there that hired me to paint a mural on the side of their building, this is how I'd start. Something like this. I probably wouldn't use crayon, but I would do some sort of a painting or sketch to say, okay, here's what I planned for the side of your building. Just a plain white building with all these nice, tropical, colorful palm trees. Okay, so that potentially could be a mural down in the Dominican Republic. Okay, so that's our lesson for today. The murals of the Dominican Republic. I hope you're able to work along with me and maybe make one on your own. And if you got something nice, you do a nice piece of work that you want to share with me and maybe even other kids at the school, send it to me. Okay, and my email address, I think last time I might have given you an email address that was incorrect, or that might have been for the little kids. Anyway, here it is if you want to send me a picture of something you've drawn. It's A for Anthony, A Griffin, Griffin, at northwestessex.org. Okay, so send me some pictures and I'll put it up on the website and you can take a look at your art there. I do have some other art that you guys have made throughout the year up there. It's Mr. Tony's art class. I believe I've sent the link to all your teachers so you can look at it through the link they sent. And if you have another nice piece of art to add to it, send it along. I'd love to see it. Okay, so that's it for today. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.